Welcome back, everyone. I received a new encounter just this morning, and it is a very interesting one, to say the least. Now, I wasn't given instructions either way to use a name or to not use a name, so I'll respect this person and just not use any names. I need some opinions or theories, either one, after I read this. Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. I don't want to be out here any longer than I have to be. My voice might be a little shaky. Things are getting weird again. So grab a drink. Lock your doors and windows. Hit the lights. And let's get started. Thought I heard something. Sorry, guys. Continue. This happened in October 2023. I've only told a few family members about this terrifying encounter. My home is located on the edge of the Daniel Boone National Forest in Menifee County in eastern Kentucky. Very close neighbor of mine. We have lots of caves and waterfalls practically in our backyard. The Nada Tunnel is only 8 miles through the woods from my home, just giving you a sense of where we live. But this is mine and my daughter's true story of encountering a creature, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Dogman, or whatever you want to call it. I worked second shift, and by the time I picked up my daughter from the babysitters and got home, it was around 11:30 at night. We got home and I had fixed us a little something to eat before going to bed. My daughter had went to her room after she ate, and after I got the kitchen cleaned up, I had settled to my bedroom. Once I had got ready for bed, I had turned my TV on, and when I turned the volume up, I heard a scream. At first, I thought it was a pack of coyotes, 'cause we had been hearing them the last couple of nights. But something was different. I turned the TV down and heard nothing, but then I turned the TV back up and I heard the screaming again. It was around 12:30 a.m. at this time. I hurried and turned the TV back down and then seen my daughter standing in the hallway asking me if I heard that. I had no idea what it was. Then I thought maybe some kind of big cat. My dog Shelby was a Newfoundland. She weighed around 120 pounds. She was very protective, and she'd lay at the front entrance outside at the door. She was a friendly dog. The only time we'd hear her bark is when she was running deer out of the yard or another small animal. Never had I ever heard her growl at anything or anyone till that night. She started growling and pacing back and forth on the porch. She would walk to the side deck and back to the front deck, then paw at the door as if she was scared. I knew when I seen her going to the side deck and back to the front, something had to be in the backyard. I immediately grabbed a headlamp that was very bright, and I lit up the backyard with it through the kitchen window, and that's when my daughter and I seen it. It was standing on the right side of the yard. At first, I thought it was a bear standing there on its hind legs, sniffing the air. But then it started walking towards the left side of my yard, and when I seen how it was walking, I knew then it was not a bear. I then thought, it is close to Halloween, could it be someone trying to scare us? But to get a perspective of where both of my neighbors on either side of me are, is several acres away, and they are both elderly with no children, living at home? Or why would someone take a chance on getting shot? When this thing was walking, I could see it was really broad at the shoulders. It was at least 7 foot tall. It walked with a slight slouch at the shoulders. Its arms looked like they were almost to its knees, and it was covered in black hair. As it was walking to the left side of the backyard, I have a walnut tree almost center of my backyard. It got to the tree, and it was as if it was hiding behind it. And when it came out from behind it, it turned straight at us, and my daughter and I had never been so terrified in our lives. Its face was covered in solid white hair. It had a protruding forehead, ears of a dog, and a snout, but the snout wasn't as long as a dog's. It was pure evil looking. I hurried and shut and locked the window and pulled the curtains together so it couldn't see us and we couldn't see it. Then my daughter said, "Let's go in your bedroom and turn the TV on and not ever speak of this." So we got to the room and I had left the TV on. I had just muted it earlier that night. I unmuted it as soon as I did. It went to screaming again. I immediately muted it again, and at this point my daughter was literally shaking and crying, and I was trying to keep myself calm so I could calm her down. In the back of my head, I didn't know what to do. Do I call 911 and say someone is messing around the house? Do we try to make it to the Jeep and get out of there? So we just kept the TV muted and laid in bed talking to one another in a whisper, and we never fell asleep till around 4 that morning. But we never heard it again. The next morning I had went to the backyard to see if I could see any footprints or any other evidence. I found our biggest prized pumpkin rolled to the bottom of our hill, and it was smashed. I didn't find any other evidence. No footprints. No nothing. But that is our terrifying events of that night with our encounter of the unknown beast. Thank you for letting me tell you my story. Sincerely, Anonymous. Well, guys, what's your theory on what she saw? I know some of these investigators, or whatever you want to call these guys, I have the utmost respect for these people. I'm just not really sure what I'd call them. They know more about these things than I do, obviously. I've heard there's multiple types of these dogmen, and each type has different variants, and I have heard, I'm not sure which variant this falls under, but I have heard of this creature, the short snout, the white face. I've heard this. If I'm not mistaken, this is the same creature that has been spotted at the LBL. I could be wrong, but I'm 99% sure that's where I heard of this description. Anyways, like I said earlier, it's really weird back here right now, so I don't want to sit out here and press my luck. I thought I heard something earlier in the video, that's why I paused for a minute. I'm not sure when I'm gonna have to just jump up and go, you know. Anyways, if you like this encounter, be sure to share and subscribe if you haven't already. I keep hearing stuff. Alright guys, be sure and like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, watch over your loved ones. Definitely keep your head on a swivel. And as always, good night.